morning. This is April 17, Monday, 2023, and we are in BBIS class where we have been discussing Albert Camus' essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. I would like to read some paragraphs from this text, particularly paragraph 1 and 2. I hope you have the book or soft copy and you can follow me. If you have the book or soft copy, follow paragraph 1. Let's read about the myth first. A myth is a story. A myth is a story, particularly a cultural story that has an implied meaning. For example, the myth of Hanuman. Let's read. I am reading from paragraph 1. I'll read and discuss. The gods had condemned Sisyphus to ceaselessly rolling a rock to the top of the mountain. So do you see, in the very beginning, we have two opposing elements. Gods and Sisyphus. Do you see Marxism here? We have class. So, gods condemned Sisyphus. Gods condemned Sisyphus to roll a rock up the mountain. So the situation. Because Camus will compare this situation with modern man's situation. Camus finds a parallelism between the modern man's condition and the condition in which Sisyphus survived. Okay. Where the stone would fall back of its own weight, they had thought with some reason that there is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. Look what Camus writes. There is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. Futile and such sentences that you will find many in this essay, they are known as aphorisms. An aphorism is a short statement that has a very deep meaning and wisdom. An aphorism is a short sentence, short statement that packs up a lot of wisdom in it. Aphorism. So, aphorism is one technique that Camus uses in his writing here in this essay. Okay, read ahead. So in paragraph 1, we read the conflict between gods and Sisyphus. See the class. We see the class antagonism. Come in. Why? She can come and study. By the way, she studies bachelor's at this time. She is a student. Don't think that she didn't study. She is your senior in college. She is about to complete college. Right? She is doing a job here, right? But she is a student. Okay. Let's read second paragraph, a longer paragraph. If one believes Homer, now this second paragraph gives another example. There is something called illusion and illusion is when you refer to something in your writing. So here Kamu is referring to Homer. This is another technique that Kamu uses. Illusion. Illusion comes from the word allude, A-L-L-U-D-E. To allude means to refer to something, to make something understandable. Kuni kura bujhauna reference liera huncha ni, illusion. And intertextuality means you are writing one text and you bring information from another text. One writing borrows something from another writing. We call this intertextuality. So Kama uses this technique in this essay. Just मैले भनेको कि मैले बिर्सिन्छु अनि यो एसेहरू पढ्दा एउटा कुरा ख्याल गर्नु. एउटा एसेमा वाट के हो, एसेले के भन्छ, त्यतिकै इम्पोर्टेन्ट जुन मैले मिस गरिरहेको छु भन्ने पनि विषय हाउ कसरी भन्छ. मैले यो कुरा निश्चयमा गरिनँ, बिर्सेँ, मार्क्समा नि गरिनँ, बिर्सेँ. कुनै दिन भोलिपर्सि सम्झेर फेरि फिल गर्छु. हाउ डु दिस, what is the rhetorical strategy, what writing technique do they apply? यहाँ कुरा गरेर सम्झेर. Look, aphorism, illusion, intertextuality. Read second paragraph. If one believes Homer, Sisyphus was the wisest and most prudent of mortals. Look at the class conflict. Gods were immortals. Sisyphus was mortal. Yes, what the cue? This war is between God and man. God and man. Where do gods live? Gods live in heaven. Where do men live? Men live on the earth. Sorry, the word man is sexist because it discriminates between women. I should say human being. Right? It's not appropriate to use the word man to refer to women and men. Okay. Let's continue reading. If one believes Homer, Sisyphus was the wisest and most prudent of mortals. He was very wise. Who is prudent? You are prudent if you take right decisions. So Sisyphus was wisest and most prudent. It's important. You are prudent if you know how to take right decisions. Read ahead. According to another tradition, however, he was disposed to practice the profession of highwayman. So this information comes from Homer. But some people think that He was a highwayman. Who is a highwayman? Highwayman is a man who lives along the highway and robs travelers if he finds them alone. हाईवेमा ढुकेर बस्ने अनि एक्लै आयो भने that is highwayman, dishonest profession. So some people say that he was a highwayman, right? Okay, I see no contradiction in this. Opinions differ as to the reasons why he became the futile laborer of the underworld. Now the question is, why did Sisyphus become futile laborer of the underworld? In paragraph 1, you read that God had condemned Sisyphus to rolling a rock to the top of the mountain as a punishment. As a punishment. Because God wanted to give the most dangerous punishment to Sisyphus. God wanted to give the most dreadful punishment. And God thought that there is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. Let me write. Futile and hopeless labor. Futile and hopeless labor. Look, when you do labor, you always expect fruit. We expect fruit, result, right? But suppose you don't get any fruit from the labor, you get nothing. You labor and you get nothing. Such a labor is futile and hopeless. And if you are doing labor without fruit, then you become Sisyphus. Who is Sisyphus? Somebody doing labor without fruit. Who is Sisyphus? Simple definition. Somebody doing labor but not getting fruit is Sisyphus. Now Camus says, today's modern man is Sisyphus. Today's modern man is Sisyphus, or today's proletariat is Sisyphus, or today's worker is Sisyphus. Today's worker is Sisyphus. Why? Because the worker offers labor, right? Worker offers labor, but gets no fruit, gets no profit, gets no money. So do you see, Sisyphus is the proletariat, gods are the bourgeois. Sisyphus is the proletariat, the rebellion. Sisyphus is the communist. Sisyphus is a follower of Karl Marx. Gods are the bourgeois who exploit the worker. Okay, read ahead. अब तिमीहरुमा के छ भने कम्पैरेटिभली अरु क्लास भन्दा के भन्छ राम्रो छ तिमीहरु किन राम्रो छ अब यसै भन्नु हुँदैन है मैले यसै गर्नु एउटा टिचरले कम्प्यारिजन गर्नु हुँदैन तिमीलाई पनि त मैले कम्प्यारिजन मन पर्दैन नि त तर ह्युमन नेचर हो हामी टिचरले 2-3 क्लास पढायौं भने कम्पेयर गर्न मन लाग्छ तिमीलाई पनि त तिम्रो क्लासमा 5 जना टिचर आयो भने कम्प्यारिजन गर्छ नि कसो क्लास डल छ बोरिङ छ को खराब छ को भन्छ हालै मन लाग्छ अब यहाँ अर्को क्लासमा चाहिँ तिमीहरु कम्प्यारेटिभली राम्रो केमा छ भन्नु सुन्छ अटेन्टिभली सुन्छ क्लासमा हल्ला गरेर चाहिँ डिस्ट्र्याक्सन गर्दैन अरु क्लासमा चाहिँ केही बन्च अफ पिपल हुन्छ जो जति गरे हल्ला गरिरहन्छ त्यो चाहिँ यहाँ छ द्याट्स अ गुड थिङ तर मेरो बानी के छ मलाई चाहिँ विद्यार्थीले धेरै हार्ड वर्क गर्दा नि चित्त बुझ्दैन कि अझ गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने हुन्छ अनि धेरै विद्यार्थीले मलाई कम्प्लेन गर्छ सर तपाईले टु मच एक्सपेक्ट गर्नुहुन्छ हामीले गर्नै सक्दैनौँ भन्छ कि अनि तपाईले यति बढी एक्सपेक्ट गर्नुहुन्छ जति मरी पढे पनि तपाईको इच्छा पुग्दैन अनि तपाई खुसी नै हुनुहुन्न भन्छ त्यो हो द्याट्स ट्रु मलाई चाहिँ विद्यार्थीको लेभलले भयो भन्ने हुँदैन कि अझै गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने हुन्छ किन भन्दाखेरि हार्ड वर्कको कुनै सीमा हुँदैन हार्ड वर्कको सीमा कति गरेर चाहिँ पुग्छ भनेर गरिरहेको राइट यु सुड लाइक Sisyphus ओके अब त पढौँ लेट्स कम टु द नेक्स्ट okay so the question is why Sisyphus became futile laborer of the underworld to begin with he is accused of a certain levity in regard to the gods levity in regard to gods भनेको Sisyphus disrespected God. Sisyphus disrespected. And you know, how can you disrespect someone more powerful than you? For example, how can you disrespect Divakar sir? Very simple. You can easily disrespect Divakar sir by not doing what he asked you to do. Disobey. Your Bible ma disobeying like you are a sin. जसको आदेश मान्नु पर्ने हो उसको आदेश नमान्नु के हो sin. Disobedience भयो भने नर्कमा गयो कहाँ गइन्छ बाइबल छोड्नुस् so what did Sisyphus do he disrespected God what did I say Sisyphus and do you realize the proletariat always disobeys the bourgeois do you realize the proletariat always disobeys read ahead. To begin with, he is accused of a certain levity in regard to the gods. He stole their secrets. Look, Sisyphus knew God's secrets. Sisyphus knew God's secrets. He stole their secrets. Aegina, now story begins. This is the myth. A myth is a story. A myth is a story. Aegina, the daughter of Sisyphus, was carried off by Jupiter. There was a king whose name was Sisyphus. What was the king's name?
Sisyphus.
King Sisyphus had a beautiful daughter. Her name was, what was her name? Aegina. What was daughter's name? Aegina. Aegina. What was father's name? Sisyphus. And Aegina was kidnapped by Jupiter. त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ गडहरूले कुनै राम्रो केट देख्यो भने झ्यापैसम्म त्यो लिएर भगवान लिएर बल जस्तो बल बाई फोर्स मन पऱ्यो लिएर भाग्यो समाज हात समाज ताने लिएर बोकै लैदियो रावणले सीतालाई लगे जस्तो ओके नाउ लुक यङ डटर हरायो बाउले तनाव भयो नि त द फादर वाज सक्ड by the disappearance and complained to Sisyphus. He came to Sisyphus and said, "Tala to sabai thaha cha goप्य कुराहरु God one person कहाँ गयो भन्दाखेरि because Sisyphus बिस्तारै के सबै God को secret कुरा थाहा हुन्छ कसको कहाँ अफेयर छ को कहाँ डेटिङ गर्छ को कसैले हिँड्छ सबै थाहा थियो He who knew the abduction offered to tell about it on one condition that okay, I know where your daughter is and I will tell that your daughter Sisyphus would give water to the citadel of Corinth. Sisyphus was the king of Corinth. Corinth was a citadel, a fort, a place. Who was Sisyphus? A king of Corinth, ruler. And Corinth had no water. So people had problem. There was no water. And Jupiter could bring water. So Sisyphus said, okay, I will tell where your daughter is. But in return, you promise that you will bring water in Corinth. To the celestial thunderbolts, he preferred the benediction of water. He was punished for this in the underworld. Now, gods were very angry that a man, because remember, Sisyphus was a man. Sisyphus was a man. Gods were gods. So this is a war between God and man. God and so when man took water, gods were angry. Jealousy. Jealousy. He was punished for this in the underworld. Homer tells us also that Sisyphus had put death in chain. According to another story, once upon a time, Sisyphus had lived his whole life. He was too old, he was going to die. And death came. And when Sisyphus saw death, he caught death in the arms and he tied death in a chain. Death, Sisyphus was marna aayeko. Sisyphus was death lane haath baandhiyo. Ab ke baad death was chained, so nobody died. But death ta Sisyphus ko ghar ma bandera rakha cha कसरी मर्छ मर्दा death सबैका जानु पर्यो. See the funny story. Then Pluto could not endure the sight of his deserted, silent empire because Pluto was the god of death. Pluto was the god of death. He dispatched the god of war who liberated death from the hands of her conqueror Sisyphus. So god of war came and freed death from Sisyphus. त्यसपछि मात्रै people again began to die. For some time nobody died. Kiन nobody died? Because Sisyphus captured. So paragraph 2 presents a bold picture of Sisyphus, right? Do you see? Albert Camus portrays Sisyphus as more powerful than God. Do you realize? Hello? Camus picturizes Sisyphus as more powerful than God. Paragraph 3. It is said also that Sisyphus, being near to death, rashly wanted to test his wife's love. He was orchestrated. Sisyphus was going to die. His wife was sitting by his side. मर्ने बेलामा चाहिँ उसलाई मेरो वाइफ चाहिँ म प्रति कतिको फेथफुल छ भनेर जाँच्न मन लाग्छ के मन लाग्यो वाइफको फेथ चेक गर्नु मन लाग्यो त्यो मलाई यसले मलाई साँच्चीकै माया गर्छ गर्दैन अब के गरे है he ordered his wife to throw his unburied body into the middle of the public square अनि के भन्यो ल बुढी म त धेरै दुःख दिएँ म मरेपछि मेरो लास नगाड्नु लासलाई के गर्नु लगेर चोकमा फ्याँक्यो कुकुरलाई खान छोड्यो स्याललाई खान छोड्यो गिद्धलाई खान छोड्यो भनेको चेक गर्ला साँच्ची गर्छ गर्दैन भने अब साँच्चीकै वाइफले लगेर भयो त्यसो गर्दैन साँच्चीकै फालिदियो भने के भयो माई वाइफ बुझ लभ पनि गर्छ ओके अब हेर के हुन्छ Sisyphus woke up in the underworld. A more body, माथि छ अर्थमा आत्मा त हेडमा गयो नि त underworld. And अब हेर it's so रमाइलो story. And there in the underworld, annoyed by an obedience so contrary to human love, he obtained from Pluto permission to return to Earth in order to chastise his wife. के देख्यो वाइफले त साँच्चीकै लगेर फालिदिन्छ कि बढी चोक अब अन्डरवर्ल्डबाट देखि मेरो बडी त्यही फालेको छ he was angry with his wife. He was very angry. He said, don't like, I should punish you. And he requested Pluto, sir, please let me go back to Earth. किन मेरो वाइफले यस्तो यस्तो गर्यो I should teach her a lesson. अनि प्लुटोले ओके छ तर फर्केर आएर पठायो कि सिधै स्टोरी right but when he had seen again the face of this world, enjoyed water, enjoyed sun, enjoyed warm stones, enjoyed sea, when Sisyphus enjoyed life on earth, he no longer wanted to go back to the infernal darkness. He said, no, yasto ramailo cha yaha घाम पानी सबै why to go to Narka त्यो आगो why and Sisyphus did not go back to underworld तर rule के थियो because he was dead he was supposed to go underworld तर गरे के भने he said no I will not go अब right look what happens recalls signs of so God recall भनेको त्यो गाडी साडी बिग्रियो भने कम्पनीले फिर्ता पाउँछ नि God's record come back signs of anger God gave warning were of no avail many years more he lived facing the curve of the gulf the sparkling sea and the smiles of earth a decree of the gods was necessary finally Mercury came and seized the imprudent man by the collar and snatching him from his joys, led him forcibly back to the underworld where his rock was ready for him. Why didn't you like Mercury? कसरी लाग्यो कलरमा समातेर हिसाबले लाग्यो कहाँ लाग्यो underworld त्यहाँ के रेडी थियो his rock was and God said hey disobedient man now push this rock up to the this is the story this is the story okay so let me huh त्यो स्टोरी यसमा छैन ओके रिसर्च गर के होमवर्कको होमवर्कबाट आएको हो अब कामले होमवर्कबाट बरु गर्यो पुरै लेखेन तिमी काम त अर्कै पोइन्ट बनाइरहेछ नि त अब होमवर्क तिमी सिम्पली बिगमा जाऊ अनि टेल मी द कम्प्लिट स्टोरी अबाउट सिसिफस फोन गर भने आइहाल्छ ओके सो द रक वाज देयर एन्ड अब गडले के भन्यो God told Sisyphus, come in. God said, oh, आप आए बाहर आए बनते हो एक जना दो जना तीन जना चार जना कहाँ जानु भएको थियो जानु जानु तपाईँलाई क्यामेराले पनि देखो ढिला
सर होइन
ठिकै छ इट्स अल राइट movement Mumbai how many 3 के को लागि
all prize
prize to participate okay so God said as a punishment God said okay Sisyphus because you disobeyed us right you must get punishment right and they said you push this rock up to the mountain take it to the top what was the punishment Sisyphus was told to push the rock to the top of the mountain. But the problem was when Sisyphus stood here with the rock on his head and he put the rock here, the rock would fall on the other side and shoot the rock will be on the ground. But God said, you will be free from the punishment only if the rock is here. He could never keep the rock here. Look here. He will go back. And what do you see? This is repeated eternally. This is repeated eternally. Now Sisyphus had already died once. He would not die again now. So Sisyphus had to push this rock eternally. So what do you see here? Here you see a task that is futile. Why? Because it brings no fruit. तिमी डन्डा ल्याऊ लट्ठीले हातमा नदी छेउ जाऊ र दिनभरि लट्ठीले बगिरहेको पानीमा प्रेस गरी कुट केही हुन्छ बिजुली निस्किन्छ भरे बेलुका आइसक्रिम बन्छ केएफसी को बर्गर आउँछ के अन्डा के कुखुराको मासु आउँछ दिनभरि पानीमा हाल्यो भने फुटाल भयो नि because it bears no fruit. And God thought that this is the cruelest punishment. What is cruel punishment? Making you do something that has no meaning. Making